The two great challenges of the world, who can solve them? Xie Feng. July 2, 2025. The first challenge, to create an ant, or a single blade of grass. The second challenge, to bring together 80 people from entirely different cultural, religious, ethnic, and life backgrounds, and have them live joyfully under one roof, eating from the same pot, and coexisting in peace. To make the elderly, the middle-aged, the young, and the children all live happily, freely, and blissfully together. Who can do this? With the guidance of higher beings, humans may one day create silicon-based life. But can they create carbon-based life? They cannot, because they do not possess the source of spirit. Many great scientists have emerged throughout history, including Nobel laureates. Yet who among them has created even a single carbon-based life form? No one. In 5,000 years of human civilization, what religion, what culture, what emperor, what philosopher, politician, sociologist, or so-called great figure has ever created a model of life so heavenly that all long to emulate it? None. Why not? Because certain essential elements have always been missing. The theories are flawed, and the practice incomplete. Even Robert Owen's New Harmony, beautiful in its inception, collapsed in less than 4 years. The one who can solve the first challenge must be a god. The one who can solve the second must be a messenger of the greatest creator. Don't believe it? Try it yourself. How do you see this way of elder care? Xie Feng. July 19, 2025. In the natural course of life, everyone grows old. As the years pass, physical strength, vitality, and spirit all gradually decline. Many fall ill, some lie bedridden, needing someone nearby for care and support. If no one is there to care for them, the final years can be filled with loneliness and sorrow. Some elders pass away in silence, their absence unnoticed for days. Only when their bodies begin to decay and emit a foul smell do others become aware. Few on this earth can say with certainty that their twilight years will be joyful, fulfilling, and serene. In the past, people relied on their children for elder care. But with the advance of urbanization and the young leaving home for distant jobs, even those with children often cannot count on filial companionship. In reality, today's young and middle-aged are already overwhelmed by the pressures of survival. Simply staying alive each day drains their sweat and soul. It's not that they don't wish to stay by their parents' side. But their hardships are unspeakable, the heart is willing, but strength is not enough. When children can no longer be depended on, those with means turn to nursing homes. But to speak frankly, a nursing home often becomes a place to wait for death. Such a life holds no flavor, no joy, only helpless resignation. It is not a path chosen from the heart, but one taken when all other doors are closed. Even with filial children, hired caregivers, or diligent staff, the bitter truths of old age are hard to voice. Those who truly pass their final years in peace and joy are very, very few. But imagine another way of elder care. A community where elders chat joyfully with peers each day. Surrounded by middle-aged adults, young people, and cheerful children who bring laughter, life, and boundless energy. Where cooking, laundry, and cleaning are lovingly handled by others. Where elders with energy can contribute what they are able. Each month brings evenings of music, laughter, and joyful games. Brothers and sisters of the soul gather, their laughter echoing like bells in the heart. Bedding and clothes are washed with care. Kind souls assist with bathing. When walking is no longer possible, warm meals are brought to the bedside. Always with a smile, never with complaint. And when life draws to a close, gentle hands handle everything with grace and love. Chanting and blessings guide the departing soul. In such a setting, most who pass are bound for heaven. Here, death is no longer a thing of fear, but a joyous threshold, longed for in peace. What do you think of such a way of elder care? Do you believe such a life could truly exist on earth? Let me tell you the truth. This life has already existed in this world, for more than 10 years. But can every elder enjoy such a life? No. Only those whose souls have been purified can dwell in such a paradise of elder life. Ignite the sacred light within. Xie Feng. June 26, 2025. Only by igniting the sacred light within can we enter the blissful homeland. Where is this blissful homeland? It is the Elysium world, the celestial islands continent of the Elysium world. How can we search for and come to know the true existence of this homeland? Through our own personal experience and direct perception. Once we have truly felt and experienced it, all becomes clear. How do we experience and perceive it? There are 3 paths. One path is through sacred union with the opposite sex. When lovemaking reaches its peak, the ecstasy of climax opens the gate to revelation. Another path is to behold supreme beauty, the majestic landscapes of rivers and mountains, breathtaking paintings and beings, and soul-stirring music. The third path is to set foot upon the journey of pilgrimage. The pilgrimage is the path to the blissful homeland, prostrating with every step, moving forward toward the sacred place within one's heart. But how do we recognize the sacred place our heart longs for? First, one must ignite the sacred light within. And how does one ignite this sacred light? By wholly offering oneself, body, heart, and soul, to the one whom one reveres with awe, trust, and devotion. By relinquishing the self, by dying to the self. At the very moment of complete surrender, when nothing of the self remains, the sacred light within is instantly lit. Once this sacred light is kindled, it marks the beginning of the pilgrimage. How does one walk the path of pilgrimage? The most vivid example is that of the Tibetan pilgrim, who, without hesitation, travels thousands of miles, prostrating every 3 steps over gravel, rubble, meadows, streams, rivers, snowfields, mountains, and open plains, advancing toward Lhasa or the sacred Mount Kangrenbok. When the knees are torn and bleeding, and the hands frozen stiff, one continues forward, supporting oneself with the elbows. Whether faced with wind, clouds, rain, snow, wolves, insects, tigers, or leopards, one presses on without retreat, leaving no path behind to turn back. On the pilgrimage path, there is no doubt. No fear. No glittering lights or worldly indulgence. No status, wealth, or reputation. No death, only transcendence. No attachment to what lies behind. No clinging to the mundane world. No worry, no excitement, no sorrow, no resentment. The heart remains still as calm water. The hardship along the way, and everything seen around, stirs not even a ripple within. In such a state of body, mind, and soul, one has already arrived at the blissful homeland. Thus we see, to set foot upon the pilgrimage path is to embark on the journey of a lifetime. It is not about whether one reaches Lhasa, or Kangrenbok, or Mecca. If the body dies while on the path, that is the most beautiful and ideal conclusion. For true life has already returned to the blissful homeland. In this new era, AI will gradually take over the management and stewardship of Earth. Humankind must learn to live more and more in the world of spirit and soul. And the sign that one has truly begun the pilgrimage path is this. They have become a Chanyuan celestial. All Chanyuan celestials are walking on the path of pilgrimage. The best path to heaven. Xie Feng. July 19, 2025. If one lives a full and smooth life to the age of 80, they will have lived for 29,200 days. 1/3 of that time is spent in unconscious sleep. Another 11 years are consumed in infancy, early childhood, and youth, years in which autonomy is limited. This leaves no more than 16,800 days of true conscious and self-directed living. So how can one reach heaven within these 16,800 days? If one's life does not lead toward heaven, and if after departing the human world one still cannot arrive in heaven, then any way of living is but animalistic. Those who do not live with heaven as their aim are, in essence, not truly human, but rather beings driven by instinct, pitiful worms crawling through life, moved only by impulse. Any form of life that does not lead to heaven is unworthy of celebration or admiration. To deny the existence of heaven is as foolish as denying the existence of one's ancestors. To be unaware of heaven is like not knowing where color ritual ignorance.
Ask those who have lived for over a year in the first, third, or fourth branches of Life Chen Yuan's second home, practicing strictly according to Chen Yuan values.
They will affirm with certainty, heaven is real, because they have come close to it and tasted its fragrance. There are many roads that lead to heaven. But to walk one of them completely within the narrow span of 16,800 days, one must choose the best path. Otherwise, life will end while the journey is still incomplete. So, where is the best path to heaven? First, we must understand what qualifies someone to enter heaven. I can clearly tell you this. Anyone who meets the following three conditions is eligible for heavenly life. All debts have been repaid, and worldly ties fully resolved. Enough merit has been accumulated. The soul has been purified, and the quality of life has reached perfection. This is easy to understand, but very difficult to accomplish. Without certain favorable conditions, it is extremely hard to meet these three requirements, because we only have 16,800 days. To complete such profound work within such a limited time is nearly impossible. Why? Because in the process of repaying debts, one may unknowingly fall into new ones. In accumulating merit, one may also create new karmic burdens. And in purifying the soul, one might unknowingly stray from the path. I have surveyed all the various paths and ways recorded throughout human history, and in the end, I discovered. Only by replicating the model of the 1,000-year world of heaven here on earth. Only by allowing people to live within this structure. Can one easily and naturally fulfill all three conditions. Therefore, we have found the best path to heaven. Become a Chanyuan celestial, and live in the second home established by Life Chanyuan. This truth is crystal clear in the hearts of Chanyuan celestials. But the world does not know. And it is hard for the world to know. Walking the path of celestial beings and Buddhas, a life beyond adversity. Xiefeng. July 20, 2025. Where there is ego and self-interest, life is filled with adversity. Where there is no self, the journey is a panorama of beauty. When fear takes root in the heart, adversity follows at every step. When fear dissolves, even a prison becomes a radiant landscape. Attachment brings adversity. Letting go and flowing with destiny, even the edge of a cliff becomes a stage for dance. When desire and greed dominate, heaven turns into hell. Without craving or attachment, even prison becomes heaven. Adversity or ease, both are reflections of the heart. When the heart transforms the world, one becomes a celestial being. Thus, the celestial being knows no adversity. To understand cause and effect is to taste sweetness in all things. To ignore cause and effect is to burn with resentment. By tasting the bitter fruit, one dissolves the roots of karma. The Tao is just and impartial. Heaven's net is vast and flawless, none escape reward or retribution. Meet all encounters with joy, nothing happens without cause. To become a celestial being or a Buddha is to shift one's scenery at will. If the material world turns harsh, move into the spiritual world. If the spiritual realm is under siege, abide in the soul. The soul's world is untouched by others, untouched by circumstance. A boundless space where thought roams free. In that sacred inner world, all disappointments in the outer world become illusions. Whether hungry, imprisoned, or threatened by demons, the soul remains free. Even if a demon presses a gun to your forehead, you smile and say, "Go ahead. Thank you for fulfilling my journey." To be unafraid of death, to long for it, is to see beauty along every step of life's path. To fear death and flee from it is to live as a slave and regret your days. As the Heart Sutra declares, when Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva practiced deeply the Prajnaparamita, he perceived that all 5 skandhas are empty and transcended all suffering and distress. Relying on Prajnaparamita, the mind is without hindrance. Without hindrance, there is no fear. Free from inverted thinking and illusion, this is the ultimate nirvana. Gate Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhisvaha. Gone, gone, gone beyond, gone far beyond, awakening, hail. Let the mind and life grow ever simpler. Xiefeng. June 5, 2025. Laozi said, "The great way is very plain. The great way is the way of the greatest creator. The way of the greatest creator is the way of nature. And the way of nature is very plain." What does very plain mean? It means natural, smooth, clear, and simple, not complicated, not extravagant, not deceptive, not reckless. To simplify the mind and life is to walk on the great way. Walking the great way means becoming one with the Tao. When you are one with the Tao, you become the Tao itself. To become the Tao is to enter higher life spaces and begin living the life of heaven. Seeking simplicity may seem ordinary at first, but the result can be unexpectedly profound. This is the subtle truth that by selflessness one fulfills oneself, and through egolessness one completes the true self. Let's take food as an example to explore the deeper meaning of simplicity. A person can live a long and healthy life just by drinking boiled water and eating steamed cornbread and pickled vegetables. Look, survival is not difficult. If you let go of soft drinks, alcohol, and all sorts of dishes and delicacies, doesn't life become very simple? Then why crave coffee or dream of lavish banquets? Why feel bitter or upset when seeing others indulge in exotic cuisine? Why let ridicule or scorn from others disrupt your inner peace? If your heart is firmly rooted in the Tao, you will live a simple life. And what will that lead to? Most likely, a high-quality life beyond others' reach. The issue is, people struggle to persist in simplicity. Most desire a life of luxury and indulgence. And what's the result? In the end, they become ordinary people stuck in mediocrity. The simpler the mind, the more at ease one lives. The more complicated the mind, the more likely one is to turn into a demon or monster. Don't believe it? Look at many who study Buddhism, they often end up twisted and confused. Practicing Buddhism is actually very simple, just let your true nature shine. But instead of doing that, people get entangled in endless conceptual knots. Or take Wang Yanming's idea of investigating things to attain knowledge. It sounds so lofty, yet after all the investigating, what is really gained? Often, nothing, people just turn themselves into strange beings. And what is investigating things? It's simply reading the revelations of heaven, reading the sky, the earth, human beings, and phenomena, and from these, perceiving even a trace of nature's wisdom. That alone is already remarkable. From the perspective of simplicity, all long-winded writings that try to preach or moralize often lead people astray, into the realms of demons and monsters. The more you read or listen to them, the more likely you are to lose your true nature and become something neither fully human nor fully ghost. Being human is simple. If something falls from the sky, rises from the ground, or is given for free, if it wasn't earned through your own effort, don't take it. If you can follow this, how could you still be easily deceived? How could you still fall into traps woven by demons and monsters? Drink boiled water. Eat pickled vegetables and steamed cornbread. Live freely and at ease. Why chase after all the unnecessary frills? If you no longer want to live as a human but wish to become a Buddha, it's simple, let your true nature express itself. If you want to become an immortal, even simpler, repay your debts, sever worldly ties, accumulate a little merit and purify the impurities in your soul. That's all it takes. To make everything simpler is to walk the great way. To make everything more complicated is to follow the demonic path. Anyone who incites you daily to think about money and chase after wealth is undoubtedly acting under demonic instigation, and such a path inevitably leads to hell. Everything is fixed and determined. Xie Feng. June 9, 2025. The universe has operated in perfect order for billions of years. It has not collapsed or burned itself out because everything within it runs according to predetermined programs. At the core of these programs are numbers, the mathematical laws that govern all things. These numbers are fixed, they do not change with time or space. Since the numbers that sustain the sun, the moon, the stars, mountains, rivers, fields, insects, fish, birds, animals, and all things are fixed and unchanging, the future of all things is likewise determined. Those destined to reincarnate will surely reincarnate. Those destined to become celestial beings will surely become celestial beings. From this, we can see that one destined to starve will certainly starve. One destined to be swept away by a flood will surely be swept away. No force can stop a person bound for hell, and no demon can prevent a person destined for heaven from reaching it. We can also observe this truth in human nature, a person's innate nature is extremely difficult to change. Even if gods, Buddhas, celestial beings, or saints were standing right beside them, they could not alter that person's nature or fate. As the saying goes, it is easier to move mountains and rivers than to change one's nature. In truth, it is harder to awaken a person than to awaken an animal. The future is fixed, just as winter is always followed by spring, summer by autumn, and an apple tree will always bear apples, never watermelons. Human beings will one day die, this too is certain and unchanging. No matter how one struggles or strives, those destined to enjoy blessings will enjoy them, those destined to suffer will suffer. Understanding this brings great peace of mind. If someone wishes to hang themselves, let them. If someone wishes to drown themselves, let them. If someone chooses to be consumed by depression and anguish, let them. If someone seeks to become a celestial being, let them play and explore their path. Everyone beats their own drum and acts out their own role. There is no need to become entangled, nor to scheme to save or indulge others. Simply be an observer, not a participant, even toward your closest family and friends. Observe them, there is no need to correct or encourage. The future is fixed and determined, human efforts can do nothing to change another's destiny. Even parents cannot alter their children's futures, nor can children change the fate of their parents in the slightest. Since the future is fixed, why be anxious? Why worry or fear? What is meant to come will come, there is no avoiding it. What is meant to go will go, there is no stopping it. If you do not yet understand these words, you are still a human being. If you do understand these words, you are already a celestial being. The Ninth Insight, Chapter of Celestial Cultivation, Article 13. Xiefeng. June 9, 2006. Throughout human history, certain unexplained phenomena have emerged, one of the most intriguing being the collective disappearance of the Maya civilization. What caused the sudden vanishing of the vast majority of the Maya people? Anthropologists, historians, archaeologists, and scientists have all struggled to find a definitive explanation. Today, I will unveil the truth: the Maya people collectively ascended and became celestial beings. You may ask, is that possible? I assure you, this is a fact. Whoever masters this insight can become a celestial being. In South America, there is a historical site where ancient texts, commonly known as the Peruvian manuscripts, have been discovered over time. Among these manuscripts lies the Ninth Insight, which I will now briefly translate for your reflection and contemplation. When primitive humans came along, we continued this evolution unconsciously by conquering others, gaining energy, and moving forward a little bit, only to be conquered ourselves by someone else and lose that energy. This physical conflict continued until we invented democracy, a system that did not eliminate conflict but transformed it from a battle for material resources into a battle of ideologies. We are bringing this whole process into consciousness. We can see that all of human history has prepared us to achieve conscious evolution. Now, we can increase our energy and experience coincidences consciously. This carries evolution onward at a faster pace, lifting our vibrations even higher. Our destiny is to continue to increase our energy level. And as our energy level increases, the vibration of the atoms in our bodies also increases. This means that we are becoming lighter, more purely spiritual. As we humans continue to increase our vibration, an amazing phenomenon will begin to occur. A whole group of people, once they reach a certain level, will suddenly become invisible to those who are still vibrating at a lower frequency. To people on this lower level, it will seem that others have simply vanished, but the group themselves will feel as though they are still present, only they will feel lighter. When humans begin to raise their vibrations to a level where others cannot see them, it will signal that we are crossing the barrier between this life and the other world, from which we came and to which we go after death. This conscious crossing over is the path shown by Christ. He opened himself to energy so deeply that he became so light he could walk on water. He transcended death right here on earth and was the first to cross over, to expand the physical world into the spiritual. His life demonstrated how to do this, and if we connect with the same source, we can head in the same direction, step by step. At some point, everyone will vibrate highly enough so that we can walk into heaven, in our same form. The more beauty we perceive, the more we evolve. The more we evolve, the higher we vibrate. The Ninth Insight reveals that ultimately, our increasing perception and vibration will open us up to a heaven that is already before us. We just can't see it yet. Final thoughts. That concludes my translation of the Ninth Insight. I hope that the knowledge I have shared will strengthen your will and confidence in pursuing the path of celestial cultivation. Ultimately, the journey of transcendence must be discovered by oneself. The path is yours to walk. Those who weigh gains and losses are not celestial beings. Xiefeng. July 11, 2012. The difficulty of survival compels us to weigh pros and cons in all matters, ultimately choosing whatever benefits us the most. If given the chance, we all hope to have the best of both worlds, keep multiple options open, and even with a raincoat, we'd still want an umbrella, just in case. Everyone longs for the life of a celestial being, yet when a true celestial arrives to lead us into paradise, we hesitate. We overthink, we waver, we doubt, and we are reluctant to let go of what we already have. We choose the safest path. We assume the celestial will always be with us, that the sun and moon will always shine, so we dawdle, look around, and feel no urgency. If we don't seize the present moment, everything will slip away. The past cannot be retrieved, the future cannot be grasped, only the present is in our hands. To waste the present is to waste the future. If the present is ugly, the future will be ugly. If the present is beautiful, the future will be beautiful. One's state of being at the moment of death determines their future after death. Therefore, the present shapes the future. If you do not accumulate virtue now, when will you? If you do not let go now, when will you let go? If you do not become a celestial now, when will you ever become one? Life is short, time flies, and no one can foresee the next second. Heaven may bring sudden storms, misfortune may strike at dawn or dusk. To abandon the present and pin hope on tomorrow is to chase an illusion. We must never expect miracles to fall from the sky. We must not dream of a bright future arriving effortlessly. Those who are greedy and selfish will never enjoy a radiant future. Those who are often jealous, complaining, angry, or resentful will find only suffering as their companion. When we become smug over unearned gains and take things for granted, believing that everything can be easily attained without effort, that is precisely when we are squandering the blessings accumulated from past lives and planting the seeds of future suffering. Those who constantly weigh gains and losses are not celestial beings. A person who is overly rational often lacks spiritual insight. A philosopher cannot become a celestial. A pure scientist cannot become a celestial. A shrewd person cannot become a celestial. Even a clever person who always thinks 3 steps ahead has no affinity with the celestial. Those who are highly educated and eloquent, well-versed in both Eastern and Western classics but unwilling to live out what they've learned, are not destined to become celestials. Those who spend their days theorizing, juggling abstract concepts, and talking endlessly without working or creating, are certainly not fit to be celestials. Celestials live by their spiritual essence. Those who live this way do not weigh gains and losses. They do not consider personal benefit, life or death, honor or disgrace. They never ask, is this good for me? What will others think or say? What if I get tricked? What if I have nothing to eat tomorrow? What if he breaks his promise and leaves me? What if I can't survive? Celestials simply express their innate nature and consider nothing else. Die. So be it. Starve. Let it be. What's the big deal? Everyone has a death sentence, only the execution date differs. In truth, those walking the celestial path understand that all things operate within the Tao. No matter how clever or wise a person is, they are like frogs at the bottom of a well, unable to grasp the full picture of the Tao. Rather than striving anxiously or lamenting their lack, rather than racking their brains in endless calculations, it is better to follow the Tao with ease. There is nothing worth chasing so desperately, nothing worth envying, nothing worth exhausting your mind over, and nothing that cannot be let go. Flowers bloom in grace and freedom, unburdened by worry. Birds soar and nest freely in the forest, so carefree and unrestrained. Should humans be any less free than flowers and birds? Heaven never cuts off anyone's path. Nature nurtures all things, and the Tao governs all. When we weigh gains and losses, we inevitably lose one thing while gaining another. If we profit in this life, might we lose blessings in the next? If we take advantage of others, might we suffer loss from the Tao? If we greedily consume animals, might we diminish our spiritual essence? The good may be deceived by people, but never by heaven. The wicked may be feared by people, but not by heaven. Rather than being clever, it's better to be simple. Rather than being complex, it's better to be pure. Rather than scheming, it's better to act straightforwardly. Rather than weighing gains and losses, it's better to hand your life to the greatest creator and let the Tao guide your path. Whether in movement or stillness, in urgency or ease, one remains in the Tao, free and unbound. Following the flow of destiny, unburdened and at peace. Hard to become a celestial or Buddha in the secular world. Xie Feng. September 21, 2012. Buddha is nature. A Buddha's heart clings to nothing, is free of all attachments, without ego or form, naturally in harmony and at ease. A celestial is also nature, flowing freely with fate, following the rhythm of life, unbound and unrestrained, one with the Tao, graceful and ethereal. It is difficult to become a celestial or Buddha while living in the secular world, because it is nearly impossible to achieve a state where the heart is without attachment or dwelling. The soil and conditions are lacking to enter a state of egolessness, formlessness, and natural ease. People are caught up every day in the toils of food, clothing, shelter, transportation, birth, aging, sickness, and death. Entangled by worldly affairs, it is hard to live freely and spontaneously, flowing with the Tao. One's consciousness and thinking are bound by traditions, social norms, and moral codes, making it nearly impossible to merge with the Tao or achieve a graceful, carefree state. Only with the right soil and environment can a seed germinate, grow, blossom, and bear fruit. Every being possesses Buddha nature and celestial nature. These are the seeds of Buddhahood and of becoming a celestial. But for these seeds to sprout and flourish, a fitting environment and proper conditions are essential. Without such an environment, one cannot become a celestial or Buddha. And the secular world simply does not offer the conditions required for such transformation. A heart without attachment or dwelling is the foundation of celestial and Buddha nature. Can such a state be achieved in the mundane world? Not even remotely. In the secular world, survival is the first concern. And the moment we strive to survive, the heart becomes attached and burdened. Worries, fears, anxieties, and afflictions flood in. How, then, can one maintain a heart free of dwelling and attachment? Egolessness, formlessness, and ease are the core traits of celestials and Buddhas. In the secular world, everyone owns something, very few can let go of all they have. Without total relinquishment, it is hard to reach a state of selflessness and formlessness. Once one is burdened with responsibilities and duties, once one is entangled with matters of daily life, eating, dressing, aging, and dying, how can one find harmony and ease? How can one become a celestial or Buddha? Flowing freely with fate and moving unbound and at ease is the basic state of celestials and Buddhas. But in the secular world, one must toil and struggle for survival, constantly troubled and anxious. People are bound by their possessions, families, beliefs, and rules. How can one flow freely and move with ease? Even if one escapes to the ends of the earth, the mind still clings to countless ties. How then can one be truly carefree and unrestrained? To be one with the Tao, graceful and transcendent, is the fundamental state of celestials and Buddhas. But to merge with the Tao, one must live by nature, Xing, not by the calculating mind, Xian. In the secular world, people live through their minds, not their heavenly nature. They are endlessly enchanted by the illusions of the world, always striving, always distressed by gain and loss. They can hardly grasp the essence of the Tao. How, then, can they become one with it? As for being graceful and ethereal, that is but an unattainable dream. Throughout the ages, countless people have attempted to cultivate themselves into celestials or Buddhas while living in the secular world. But how many have truly succeeded? Has even 1 out of 10,000 made it? Even if 1 out of 1,000 were to succeed, the rate would still be too low. The reason is simple: one cannot become a celestial or Buddha in the secular world. Always calculating for gain, brooding over loss, how can such a person attain enlightenment? Where, then, should one go to cultivate oneself into a celestial or Buddha? To churches? Temples? Monasteries? Secluded mountains? It doesn't matter where, as long as the environment and conditions allow one to achieve a heart free of attachment and dwelling, to reach a state of egolessness and harmony, and at the same time to live freely, flow with fate, merge with the Tao, and become graceful and transcendent, then that is the right place. Today, the best field for becoming a celestial or Buddha is the second home. A concise outline of super-celestial being consciousness. Xiefeng. October 25, 2012. What kind of consciousness structure should a super-celestial being possess? Or in other words, what kind of consciousness structure qualifies one to be called a super-celestial being? Answer: the consciousness structure of a super-celestial being consists of four core elements: the greatest creator, creation, entertainment, and play. The greatest creator is the central element of a super-celestial being's consciousness. A super-celestial being stands but one step away from the greatest creator, and their essence is fundamentally one and the same. The consciousness of a super-celestial being is, in essence, the consciousness of the greatest creator. Creation: on their own celestial island, a super-celestial being can create anything at will, just as the greatest creator does. They can bring all things into being and dissolve all things. Possessing 64 supernatural abilities, super-celestial beings freely create and uncreate with these powers. Entertainment: the purpose of creation is entertainment. A super-celestial being creates according to their will and desires, and then joyfully delights in and enjoys what they have created, abiding in supreme bliss. Play: super-celestial beings invite one another to their celestial islands, or are invited to the islands of others, where they engage in endless displays of supernatural wonders. This is their divine play. The simplest is the most profound is the simplest. Though the consciousness structure of a super-celestial being is simple in essence, the path to becoming a super-celestial being is extraordinarily intricate. How can one become a super-celestial being? Answer: by refining one's consciousness to become orderly, simple, lucid, and pure. The values of Life Genuine aim to bring order to consciousness. Life in the second home aims to make consciousness simple. Games and entertainment in the second home aim to make consciousness lucid. Practice and cultivation in Life Genuine aim to purify consciousness. Therefore, Chanyuan Celestials should understand this well. By living in the second home, we are step by step drawing ever closer to the state of a super-celestial being. Hold fast to the values. Hold fast to the second home. Follow the guide's roadmap. In time, we shall attain the state of super-celestial beings and enter the celestial islands continent of the Elysium world. A celestial always dwells in contentment. Xiefeng. March 11, 2013. There is a clear distinction between a celestial and an ordinary person. A celestial always dwells in contentment, while a human is constantly driven by desire and pursuit, rarely tasting true satisfaction. A celestial adapts with ease, flows freely with fate and affinity, acts in harmony with true nature, responds spontaneously as circumstances arise, follows the flow of destiny, and moves unbound and at ease. Humans, on the other hand, are forever striving after desires, grieving over poverty and low status, running about in endless toil, comparing themselves to others, wanting an umbrella after acquiring a raincoat, thinking of the next meal before finishing the first, climbing mountain after mountain. With a wife, they desire a mistress. Ever unsatisfied, they are always chasing. The moment one begins to pursue, affliction arises. The moment one feels discontent, unease follows. Life is brief, desire is endless. With 10,000, they want 100,000, with 100,000, they crave 1,000,000. Having a house, they dream of a palace. Feasting on delicacies, they eye treasures of the sea. The human heart knows no bounds, like a snake trying to swallow an elephant. Thus, humans live mired in worry, suffering, and misfortune. Chanyuan Celestials cultivate the path to immortality. For example, those living in the fourth branch of the second home, you should already feel content. You dwell in a picturesque paradise, eat well, stay warm, live comfortably, sleep until waking naturally. No one manages you, no one supervises you, no burdens weigh on your heart. I have washed away your worldly attachments, you need only flow with life, act naturally, and do your best, and you are already living in a celestial realm. At this point in life, what more could you seek? When will it ever be enough? One cannot have the best of both worlds. Wings will not grow on a tiger's back. What more are you after? To live as an ordinary person is true happiness. Imagine a couple running a small grocery store, operating with care and honesty, enough for a full life. Why insist on expansion? Why build a chain of stores, recruit armies of staff, stir up noise and frenzy, arousing envy among neighbors? As for Life at Chanyuan, our mission is to fulfill the vision that all paths and teachings return to one source, the will of the greatest creator. All religions and philosophies converge in reverence and praise for the greatest creator, one global family, one harmonious world, and to establish 256 branch communities around the world. But that is the guide's work, not the work of Chanyuan Celestials. A Chanyuan Celestial has but one task, to become a Celestial. As for the guide, this mission belongs to the Tao itself. As the guide, I care little for the outcome. I live each day with greater ease and joy than any Chanyuan Celestial. Have you ever seen me anxious? For example, the article, "The Second Home Faces Disaster, We Urgently Seek Guidance from the Wise," was merely a strategy to promote Life at Chanyuan, and a small test to gauge the spiritual depth of each Celestial. Did I ever panic over it? Even if the second home were to disappear entirely, I would not be alarmed. Why should I be? All things unfold within the Tao. I only need to carry out my duty each day with diligence. Whether it succeeds or not has long been determined, already written in the plan of the greatest creator. Why should the eunuch be anxious while the emperor is calm? I'm certainly not in a rush. Take the home's websites, for example. Aren't they doing just fine? Why try so hard to boost popularity? An orchid blooming in a remote valley does not wither out of shame simply because no one admires it. Are we not even as noble as a single orchid? From the perspective of cultivating the path to immortality, wouldn't it be better if the world never knew the second home existed? Would that not be more tranquil and beautiful? I have already gifted you the 3 treasures for a worry-free life. What more is there to fear about the future? Those who are tranquil and natural belong to the realm of the greatest creator, those full of ambition belong to the camp of demons. To cultivate virtue and wisdom, one must have the mindset of wood and stone. A trace of vanity brings one into the realm of desire. To serve the world and manage affairs, one must possess the spirit of drifting clouds and flowing water. A hint of attachment leads to danger. Haste or delay, many paths lie ahead. Seizing or flowing, both end in emptiness. Overindulgence invites disaster, unusual behavior foretells misfortune. Watch the clouds roll in the sky. Observe the blossoms bloom and fade before your doorstep. Everything is so peaceful and natural, why stir up sorrow and joy before the rain even falls? Do not trouble yourself over nothing. When idle, enjoy watching birds fly in the blue sky, flowers and grasses dancing in the breeze, listen to the crowing of roosters, barking of dogs, and cooing of doves. Watch the brightly colored fish in the pond swim freely and joyfully. The male celestials in the home are handsome, witty, and charming. The female celestials are beautiful, graceful, and full of spirit. When there is nothing to do, why not enjoy a little romance and playful flirtation? Sitting atop a mountain of gold, why not hurry to attain immortality? An inch of time, an inch of gold. The path to immortality flows through the passage of time. Through wind and frost, through sunshine and mist. A celestial is always in contentment. The celestial path is ethereal and sublime. Xiefeng. August 10, 2013. Many people have experienced the sensation of flying in dreams, a truly wondrous and liberating feeling. So, can we fly in waking life? My answer is, yes. Hold any object in your hand and wave it rapidly back and forth in front of your eyes. Gradually increase the speed. What will you observe? You'll notice. When the object is still, its details are clear. As it begins to move, it starts to blur, its edges become indistinct. At high speed, it no longer appears solid, but becomes a hazy image composed of countless molecules. When the speed reaches a certain threshold, the object seems to vanish, it becomes invisible. This phenomenon is caused by vibrational frequency. I've explained this mystery in The Stone Crossing the River. A stone can indeed cross a river, depending on its speed. If the speed is too low, it sinks. But when it's fast enough, it can skim across the surface. The Bible records Jesus walking on water. This was possible because his body vibrated at such a high frequency that he didn't sink. In Taoist lore, there's a saying, transcend and become a celestial in feathered form. This is not merely a myth. When one's body, mind, and spirit vibrate at an extremely high frequency, just like the object that vanishes from sight, one may undergo this transformation. Becoming a celestial doesn't mean ceasing to exist, it means becoming invisible to the physical eye. I once described, when revealing the 9th insight of the Celestine prophecy, the phenomenon of a group of people collectively vanishing. But this disappearance wasn't literal, they had simply transitioned beyond the range of physical perception. They could still see us, but we could no longer see them. When speaking about the Elysium world of the heavenly kingdom, I've said that the space we're in right now is already part of it. We are already within that realm. The sky we see isn't empty, it's filled with mountains, rivers, celestial lands, fruits, and many advanced beings. The reason we can't see them is due to the limitations of our perception. Human eyes detect only light between 400 to 700 nanometers, ears hear sounds between 20 to 20,000 Hz. Anything beyond these ranges is simply invisible and inaudible to us. Thus, when someone ascends and becomes a celestial, they've entered a space of higher frequency, beyond the reach of ordinary senses. When we fly in the non-material world, within dreams, what do we discover? We see ourselves flying freely, clearly observing everything below, while those on the ground cannot see us. It's as if we don't exist. This is a revelation. Above us, countless higher beings are soaring. They can see us clearly, though we cannot perceive them. All of this tells us, we can fly. Through transcendence, we can enter higher density, higher frequency life spaces. This is not a fantasy or illusion, it is a truth confirmed by experience. The question is, how can we take flight and rise into a higher level of life space? By elevating the vibrational frequency of our body, mind, and spirit. And how do we raise this frequency? By entering an ethereal state. What is the ethereal state? It is a state of no ego, no form, no attachment, no burden, no fear, no obsession, a state of unspeakable beauty and absolute freedom. It is the state described in the Heart Sutra. All phenomena are empty in nature. Neither arising nor ceasing. Neither tainted nor pure. Neither increasing nor decreasing. Therefore, in emptiness, there is no form. No sensation, perception, formation, or consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, or mind. No color, sound, smell, taste, touch, or object of thought. No realm of sight, and so on until no realm of consciousness. No ignorance and no end of ignorance. No aging and death, and no end of aging and death. No suffering, no origin of suffering, no cessation, and no path. No wisdom, and no attainment. With nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva, relying on Prajnaparamita, is free from hindrance in the mind. Because there is no hindrance, there is no fear. Far from all illusion. They dwell in perfect nirvana. So how can we allow ourselves to dwell in this ethereal state? Don't hesitate. Don't waver. Don't doubt. Don't worry. Don't cling. Don't fear. Simply follow the guide's roadmap. Let go completely. Stop living for yourself. Only through selflessness can the true self emerge. Only through egolessness can the true being be fulfilled. When the self is completely surrendered, the ethereal state is attained. The celestial path is ethereal and sublime. Its mysteries lie within the palm of my hand. With nothing left to do, one becomes a celestial being or a Buddha. Xie Feng. Before enlightenment, everything seems worth doing. After enlightenment, there is nothing left to do. Having nothing to do does not mean lying motionless, becoming like a lifeless stone or a motionless piece of wood. It means being supple and harmonious with all things, completely aligned with nature. It means being able to adapt to circumstances with ease, go with the flow of life's connections, act in alignment with one's true nature, and take action as opportunities arise. There is no pursuit, no prayer, no ideals, no wishes, no desires, no attachments, no resentment, no vexation, no preference, no distinction, no worry, no fear, no self. As a Buddha, one rests in nirvana and tranquility. As a celestial, all becomes a game. Once enlightened, one sees that everything operates within the Tao. All that is required is to follow the Tao. If one acts intentionally, it is to oppose the Tao, it is to go against the flow. And in going against the Tao, one encounters endless troubles, constant pain, frequent disasters, and unceasing anxiety. Once enlightened, there are no urgent matters to attend to, no precautions to be taken, no enchanting situations worth lingering in, no one to flatter or fawn over. Whether coming or going, the heart remains calm and peaceful. A single ray of spiritual light illuminates the boundless universe, and everywhere is glorious and resplendent. Once enlightened, all troubles vanish, all fears disappear. One shines with radiant light at every moment and sees blooming flowers in every direction. One strolls beneath sunny skies and gentle breezes, bathed in subtle fragrance, seeing beauty in every face and harmony in all things. Once enlightened, one realizes, there are no truly hateful people in the world, no one in need of rescue, no talent waiting to be cultivated, and no one to assist. All creation and destruction are determined by heaven, heaven alone sustains or extinguishes, heaven alone rewards or punishes. It is not up to oneself or others. All man-made interventions upset the balance, and every gain comes at a greater loss, making all efforts futile. Once enlightened, one sees that there are no great matters in the world, no pressing affairs, nothing worth agonizing over, nothing worth regretting. Everything is inevitable. Everything is preordained. Human effort cannot resist it. Human will cannot change it. The tides rise and fall, the flowers bloom and wither, it is all heaven's decree. Once enlightened, all worry dissolves. Death is no longer feared. One does not rejoice in birth, nor is distressed by death. One is not elated by gain, nor saddened by loss. What comes, let it come, do not deliberately attract it. What goes, let it go, do not intentionally hold on. Once enlightened, one devotes heart and strength to everything, letting each thing fulfill its purpose and each person realize their potential. One does not seize nature's craftsmanship, does not obscure the beauty of nature's creation, does not suppress the creativity of the Creator, and does not obstruct the Creator's intent. Gratitude fills the heart, joy fills the soul. One communes with the spirit of heaven and earth, walks with the sun, moon, and stars. Thoughts transcend rivers and mountains, roaming freely through the boundless expanse of time and space. Consciousness moves freely between the macrocosm and the microcosm, drifting lightly, gliding freely, free everywhere. Once enlightened, emperors and beggars are no different, wealth and poverty, nobility and lowliness, praise and insult, all are equal. Loved ones and enemies are indistinguishable. Stripped bare, without attachments, ethereal and graceful, free of troubles and worries. Roaming carefree, dwelling in great freedom, free from fear and care. The wind is rising, let it blow. It begins to rain, let it fall. If the child has average intelligence and cannot enter university, let him herd cattle. If the wife wants a divorce, so be it. If the parents are ready to go, let them go. If illness comes, let it come. If there's nowhere to stay, build a thatched hut and sleep in it. If there's nothing to eat, just sit quietly and starve. If I'm blocked from moving forward, fine, I'll turn around and retreat. If I've been deceived or taken advantage of, so what? I'll die sooner or later anyway. If you fancy something of mine, take it. If the business fails and the company collapses, so what? I came with nothing, I leave with nothing. No big deal. If you want to bully, insult, torment, or mistreat me, go ahead, I'll smile and accept it. If you want me to hate you, no way. If you want me to be angry, no way. If you want me to be afraid, no way. If you want me to be anxious, no way. Ah, everything is so beautiful, so perfectly ordered. Everything is so fair, so pleasing to the heart and eye. O primordial Buddha, the greatest creator, now I rest peacefully in your embrace. Climbing toward the celestial realm of eternal youth. Xiefeng. October 4, 2013. One day in heaven is equivalent to 1 year on earth. This is a truth that science will one day confirm. The experiences of many Chanyuan celestials who have lived in the second home for several years already confirm this. This reflects the relativity of time and space. In different dimensions, metabolism varies, and the cycles of growth and decay differ. This is the well-known principle that environment shapes the person. People yearn for life in the heavenly kingdom because of its ideal environment, where life is long and joyful. In the human world, a person's lifespan is around 80 years. In the 1,000-year world, it is 1,000 years. In the 10,000-year world, it is over 35,000 years. And in the celestial islands continent of the Elysium world, life is limitless. These differences can be witnessed in life at the second home. Once it is built in the model of the 1,000-year world. And Chanyuan celestials cultivate the consciousness of the 10,000-year world and the celestial islands continent while still living on earth, life can be greatly extended. My wish, enjoying love and vitality until 100, and living to 120, will not be hard to achieve. Observe those currently living in the second home. Some have hardly changed over the years, their physical and mental states seem frozen in time. Some have even grown younger, experiencing rejuvenation. And this is just the beginning. The home is still far from perfect, and people haven't lived there long. As it becomes more complete and beautiful, and as the years pass, some Chanyuan celestials will undoubtedly enter the state of eternal youth. Many celestials often say, time flies so fast. When one feels that time passes quickly, this is a sign of entering the state of eternal youth. The phrase, in the blink of an eye, decades have passed, is the very embodiment of, one day in heaven is a year on earth. When one feels time flying, life is being extended. When one feels no passage of time at all, that is eternal youth. But if time feels slow, like a day drags on like a year, then the life cycle is shrinking, and aging is accelerating. I know the secret to eternal youth, and I will show you the way. If one can truly follow it, not only can one remain youthful forever, but even rejuvenate, or transform freely between youth and age. Here is the path. Let your consciousness dwell in emptiness, spirit, and grace. Own nothing at all. Enter a state of egolessness. Live in the state of nature, Xing. Rise with the sun and rest with its setting, live with regular rhythm. Walk strictly according to the guide's roadmap. Feel only gratitude, hold no resentment. Be without desires or pursuits, follow the Tao. Desirelessness is desire. No self is the true self. Selflessness is the highest form of self. No seeking is the truest seeking. And no emptiness is fullness. These are truths beyond all doubt. My teachings are grounded in experience. All my predictions will be proven true. The deeper you enter into this inner realm, the more wonders you will sense. And the more mysteries you will discover. What I fear most is ego and opinion. The restraints of education and the chains of traditional thinking. The moment you believe you are right. The moment doubt arises. Or the moment you cling to something. You will no longer be able to enter the celestial realm of eternal youth. The five aggregates are empty, returning to the zero state. Xie Feng. January 7, 2014. I came from emptiness, and to emptiness I shall return. The five aggregates are empty: feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness all return to emptiness. All dharmas bear the mark of emptiness, there is neither gain nor loss. Dharma is no dharma is the true dharma. To possess is to bring forth vexation, attachment is an ocean of suffering. I came with nothing, now I return to nothing, a wondrous realm of bliss, without attachment, without possession. The true essence of life: no eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, or mind, no form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or dharma, neither birth nor death, neither defilement nor purity, neither increase nor decrease. Life is but a play, its length matters not, nor do longevity or brevity, gain or loss, victory or defeat. All rise and fall, ebb and flow. When one triumphs in the world, one may be losing in heaven. The vast and boundless cosmos, return to the zero state. Endless transformations, boundless change. In non-action, all is accomplished; in action, some things are done, and some things must be left undone. There is no aging in death, nor an end to aging in death. When one door closes, 9 doors open. This shore is that shore, this moment is that moment. Joy here, joy there, suffering here, suffering there. If unaware in this moment, one will remain lost in that. The sea of suffering is vast, the vicissitudes of the human world are endless, the flash of blades, the shadow of swords, gossip and slander. By the power of Prajnaparamita, the mind is free of hindrance. Without hindrance, there is no fear. Freed from inverted illusions, one reaches ultimate nirvana. Nirvana is the zero state is supreme bliss. Selflessness completes the self, emptiness brings forth fullness, no self accomplishes the self, formlessness manifests form. The second home, a paradise of life, few in the mortal world have the blessing to experience its joy. Yet we attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, giving without attachment, its merit beyond comprehension. Though many criticize and slander, it is of no concern. Though suppression and persecution arise, the will of heaven cannot be stopped. Time and space flow onward, the path turns and twists. Life is but a journey, not the destination. Do not be distracted by the glitter of lights and pleasures, wealth and fame are but floating clouds. Tides rise and fall, flowers bloom and fade, birth and death cycle endlessly, there is nothing new under the sun. The five aggregates are empty, return often to the zero state. This is the wondrous path to eternal bliss. Adversity and prosperity arise from the mind, good fortune hides within misfortune, misfortune leans on good fortune. Why cling to joy or sorrow? When celestial spirit enters the heart, the boundless universe becomes a wondrous realm. Every moment of life is filled with joy. Flow with fate, be free and at ease. Move when it is time to move, rest when it is time to rest. Be carefree whether in haste or in leisure. Be free in this shore and this moment, be free in that shore and that moment. Chanyuan celestials, celestial herbs, nurtured by the spirit of heaven and earth, nourished by the essence of sun and moon. Entering the world, one opens the celestial path, departing the world, one enters the celestial islands. Be unattached to the splendors of the mortal world. Pay no heed to birth, aging, illness, or death. Be carefree and graceful, smile in the celestial realm. The world weeps for me, the celestial realm smiles upon me. Hell howls at me, supreme bliss beckons me. Coming or going, it matters not, all is entrusted to the will of heaven. Mortal affairs are as fleeting as the bloom of the ephemeral flower. With a mortal heart in motion and a celestial heart in stillness, a gentle smile. From this point on, only celestial beings and Buddhas may follow me. Xie Feng. February 28, 2014. Worldly sentiments and mundane affairs are endless. The first leg of the Chanyuan journey has come to an end. From here on, the human path ceases. Only the path of celestial beings and Buddhas remains. So let it be clear. From now on, only celestial beings and Buddhas may walk with me. As a celestial being, you must be joyful and happy every day. I do not care what reasons or excuses you have, what hardships you face, or what suffering you endure. If you are not joyful, not light-hearted, if you carry worry, attachment, fear, or sorrow, then you are still human, not a celestial being. You may no longer walk with me. As a Buddha, you must dwell in constant serenity. Let the winds shift and the clouds surge. Let death stand before you, your heart must remain unmoved. Without a ripple, without complaint. You are like water. Round when in a round vessel, square in a square one. You stop when it's time to stop, move when it's time to move. You are without self, yet utterly free. As a celestial being or Buddha, you carry no personal problems. No troubles of thought, emotion, life, or work. If you are still entangled in difficulties, you are still human, not a celestial being, not a Buddha. I wish to walk this path with freedom and grace. I have spoken and written clearly how to handle every challenge. If you still come to ask me, then you are like lifeless wood that cannot be carved. And I, too, lose my ease and elegance. If you are full of problems, you are not a ripe crop. If you bring me burdens and troubles, you are not the life I seek. I did not come to solve your issues. Your life is yours to live, your difficulties, yours to resolve. Those I lead forward are lives without burdens, without sorrow or complaint. They laugh, joke, and rejoice all day long, light, joyful, and free. Life is fleeting. The path of celestial being is long. Where is there time or energy to deal with the trifles of the mortal world? So, if you know you are a celestial being, walk with me. If you know you are a Buddha, walk with me. But if you still cling to the illusions of the world, still dwell in dreams and fantasies, then do not follow me. You will be seized by fear and doubt. And you will not reach the end of the path. If you cannot become a celestial being or Buddha now, you will not have another chance. Transcend time and space, ascend as celestial beings. Xie Feng. March 1, 2014. Chanyuan celestials have poured heart and soul into humanity. We pioneered a perfect way of production and life, pointed the way toward humanity's future, and opened a brand new path. If humanity follows this road, it can reach the realm it has dreamed of for thousands of years. A world where the virtuous are not left behind, where the whole world is one family. Where each gives according to ability and receives according to need. Where lost items remain untouched on the ground, doors remain unlocked at night, rains come in season, and peace prevails under heaven. A world where all are carefree, joyful, free, and blessed. A future where humanity can thrive sustainably. After years of tireless devotion, we gave everything. Now, all that we created for humanity has been destroyed. This is not our fault, it is humanity's own choice. Henceforth, we shall no longer involve ourselves in human affairs. Our debts are paid. Our merits are fulfilled. Now, it is time to attain fruition and roam freely. Time for us to ascend as celestial beings. Let us, from this moment on, enter the celestial realm in the state of celestial beings. Family, state, and world affairs, not my concern. Fire, flood, smog, I remain unmoved. Strife, slaughter, and greed, human calamities, unrelated to me. Riots and war, I watch with calm detachment. Famine and refugees roaming the earth, let it be. Cries that shake the heavens, I hear, but do not respond. The dead strewn about, suicides on the rise, I see, but do not react. Religious and ethnic strife, I do not ask, I do not listen. The rise of money, power, fame, and lust, no interest at all. If my home is taken, my wealth seized, I give it away. Clothed in rags, owning nothing, I learn from the wild. Slandered, insulted, attacked, suppressed, I yield. Framed, imprisoned, even driven to death, so be it. I do not argue. I do not contend. You live your life, I walk my path. No complaints, no cries of injustice. No blame toward heaven, no blame toward man. I follow the way and go with the flow. No one to love, no one to hate. This life is but a fleeting dream. Why cling to right or wrong? Live each day singing, carefree and untroubled. If death comes the next moment, I welcome it without fear. No seeking, no desire. Act when it's time to act, rest when it's time to rest. Even in haste, stay in the way, free and unbound. Nothing weighs on the heart. Nothing is clung to. Adapt to circumstances with ease, transform with the flow of life's affinities, act in alignment with one's true nature, and respond to the call of the moment. No nostalgia for the mortal world. No attachment to humankind. No clinging to life. No sentimentality for affection. We are celestial beings of the 1,000-year world. Roaming freely, joyfully, and at ease. The first chapter has ended. From this moment, we begin the next. Cultivating celestial grace and the essence of the Tao. Xie Feng. January 30th, 2016. The grace of celestial beings, the essence of the Tao, pure as ice, flawless as jade. The melodies of Qin, seven-stringed zither, and Shao, vertical bamboo flute, echo through serene valleys. With music, chess, painting, and calligraphy, with plum blossoms, orchids, bamboo, and chrysanthemums, with crystal-clear waters gently flowing toward the horizon, a scene of ethereal elegance unfolds. A soft breeze stirs, 100 flowers bloom, subtle fragrance wafts through the air, and the quiet courtyard shines in serene clarity. Distant mountains wear a veil of indigo, nearby, the earth is blanketed in green. Birds perch gently, their soft songs flowing like nature's poetry. On lotus ponds and silver lakes, ripples shimmer, a boat glides skyward, leaving behind a trail of freedom and grace. With poetry, dance, and swordplay like brushstrokes in air, the cultivated spirit radiates elegance and freedom. Whether walking, standing, sitting, or lying down, each movement flows like the soaring flight of phoenixes and cranes. The dwelling is serene and refined, bright windows, clean desk, and the delicate fragrance of chrysanthemum tea rising softly. Every expression, be it a frown, a smile, joy, or displeasure, reveals the bearing of a celestial kingdom. 1,000 charms and myriad graces stir awe and admiration. Exceptional talent, poised bearing, and the charm of a celestial being captivate scholars and beauties alike. Like a lotus blooming from water, like a kunpeng, mythical fish bird symbolizing limitless flight, soaring through the sky, transcendent, unworldly, above the dust of the mortal realm, so radiant that even worldly powers bow in admiration. Living in the second home, composing timeless beauty, our destiny is bound to the celestial island continents. Celestial grace refers to the bearing, elegance, demeanor, temperament, and style of a celestial being. Taoist essence is the inner light and power that emanates from one who has attained the Tao, the boldness of spirit, the grace of presence, the courage and insight of one who sees clearly, the charisma that draws others, and an inner elegance untouched by vulgarity. To embody these qualities, one must first transcend the mundane, to become radiant, refined, and unbound by worldly concerns. One must possess both inner refinement and outer grace, cultured, noble, pure as ice and jade, versed in the arts, gentle, still, and harmonious. Taoist essence is the inner core, celestial grace is the outer manifestation. Without inner depth, no ornament can create true presence, without external refinement, the essence remains unseen. Therefore, to cultivate the grace of a celestial being and the essence of the Tao, one must cultivate both the within and the without. The 8 inner qualities of Taoist essence. A mind free of attachment. Transcendence beyond the ordinary. Rising above the dusty world. Outstanding talent and creativity. Freedom and spontaneity. Simplicity and elegance. A harmonious blend of resilience and grace. The graceful control of expression and restraint. The 8 outer qualities of celestial grace. Graceful and dignified bearing. Refined and gentle demeanor. Infinite charm and charisma. A radiance that brightens all around. Immaculate purity and effortless elegance. Mastery of the arts, music, chess, painting, and calligraphy. Pure as ice, clear as jade. Effortless elegance and natural freedom. To cultivate these 16 qualities is not the task of a day or a year. The inner cultivation alone takes many years of silent refinement. As for outer grace, it requires both conscious practice and a suitable environment: blue skies and white clouds, green mountains and flowing water, shimmering lakes and majestic mountains, peaceful gardens and quiet forest paths, the scent of flowers, birdsong, kindred spirits, music, chess, painting, and calligraphy, a life rich in music, dance, and artistic expression, as well as abundant material support. Why must we cultivate the grace of celestial beings and the essence of the Tao? Because these are the essential attributes for ascending to the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the celestial islands continent of the Elysium world. 6.4. 64 Subtleties for Cultivating Celestial Grace and the Essence of the Tao. Xiefeng. January 31, 2016. In the preceding article, Cultivating Celestial Grace and the Essence of the Tao, we explored the 8 inner and 8 outer qualities that give rise to celestial grace and the essence of the Tao. This article reveals 64 specific subtleties that give form to those qualities. As the saying goes, great undertakings are rooted in subtle details. No matter how magnificent the vision, it is built upon the precision of each detail. When every detail is tended to with care, the greater goal will naturally be fulfilled. Let the heart dwell nowhere, move in accord with innate nature. Hold to nothing, be at peace with whatever arises. Follow no fixed path, transform in accordance with karmic connections. Harbor no intention, act as the moment calls. Be unmoved by money, power, fame, or sensual attraction. Be unmoved by any form of self-interest. Be untouched by worldly concerns or emotional attachments. Be unmoved by glory, luxury, or status. Do not die for a nation. Do not die for a religion. Do not die for a political party. Do not die for a family. Read sacred texts or contemplate revelation in moments of stillness. Do all things with excellence and clarity, leave no regret behind. In the face of events, remain calm and unhurried. Act with the force and swiftness of thunder and lightning. Be bound by neither circumstances nor emotion. Be constrained by neither power nor gain. Be limited by neither morality nor convention. Be held by neither ideology nor doctrine. Do not act or be troubled by food, clothing, shelter, transportation, birth, aging, illness, or death. Do not seek glory, extravagance, or a name in history. Be serene and desireless, be in unity with nature. Use simple and elegant things, be pure and graceful in manner. Never bully or humiliate those weaker than you. Never mistreat the lonely or helpless. Never flatter or bow before the powerful. Do not fear those with power or who rely on brute strength. Avoid stirring up trouble or gossip. Do not chase after fame or those in the spotlight. Keep away from noisy places and trouble-filled scenes. Do not dwell in sorrow over the departed, do not cling to the past. Dress in clean, simple, and elegant clothing, avoid bright red or green. Hair and clothing should be flowing and graceful, free of bulkiness or awkwardness. Keep the body clean and subtly fragrant, avoid disheveled hair, grime, or heavy makeup. Keep your living space serene and elegant, avoid dusty tables or cluttered messes. Keep books and instruments at hand, hang calligraphy or plaques such as Ode to the Humble Room. Let sunlight and moonlight shine in, use simple sheer curtains that allow the breeze to pass through. Have a courtyard with plum, orchid, bamboo, and chrysanthemum, include flowing water, a lotus pond is even better. Carry yourself with dignity, every movement should be measured and composed. Speak little, convey meaning through posture, expression, and the eyes. Let men be bold, and women reserved, avoid vulgarity or loss of composure. Speak with refinement, gently, with rhythm and poise, neither rushed nor dragging. In conversation, avoid arguing or interrupting others. Do not gossip, dwell on worldly affairs, pry into privacy, or speak of vulgar matters. Do not speak of money, gain, fame, power, or today's wealthy and celebrities. Whatever you speak of, never curse others, insult ancestors or leaders, or show disrespect to the greatest creator, gods, celestial beings, or saints. Master one musical instrument, one form of chess, one kind of dance, or swordsmanship, and one form of calligraphy or painting. Know how to drink, sing, dance, engage in pleasant talk, and enjoy subtle humor. Know how to admire flowers, walk in nature, enjoy elegant pleasures, and flirt gracefully. Know how to smile, be annoyed, cry, or feel anger, but never shout or wail. Do not grumble, speak oddly, talk of ghosts or rumors, or plot secret affairs. Do not grumble, complain, blame, envy, or compare. Do not speak of illness, love, hunger, cold, or heat. Respect beggars and vagabonds, respect everyone. Begin with lightness like clouds and mist, end with clarity and precision. Walk, stand, sit, and lie down with the bearing of a celestial being, command with bold vision and profound strategy. Speak clearly, concisely, and precisely, no wasted words. Always keep the gaze level, neither lowered nor raised too high. Be resolute and swift, never sluggish or indecisive. Relate to others with fluidity and grace, always leave room. Leave when you say you will, stop when you decide to, eat and play without delay. Love one animal, befriend rare flowers and exotic plants. Remain in the state of Hundun. Live out these 64 subtleties, and the grace of celestial beings and the essence of the Tao will arise naturally. May we all cultivate these qualities and ascend to the peaks of life and life. Becoming a celestial being, and the necessary conditions. Xie Feng. May 28, 2016. There is an old saying. Even the most skillful cook cannot prepare a meal without rice. No matter how talented a chef may be, without oil, salt, soy sauce, vinegar, flour, and vegetables, they cannot create a delicious dish. Another saying goes, heroes are shaped by their times. Social upheaval and great change give rise to heroes and foster their growth. For example, during China's spring and autumn and warring states periods, widespread turmoil and division laid the groundwork for the most brilliant flourishing of Chinese philosophy. Without such turbulent times, the 100 schools of thought would never have emerged. A single seed cannot sprout, grow, bloom, or bear fruit without soil, water, and sunlight. A fish dies without water. A hen cannot hatch chicks without a rooster. Without the combined condition of a market economy and systemic flaws, corruption would have no soil in which to grow. A popular saying today goes, when men gain wealth, they turn bad, when women turn bad, they gain wealth. This reflects how people and their circumstances change as conditions shift. Even the hardest steel softens under intense heat and pressure. A gentle woman, faced with danger to her children, can become extraordinarily strong. All change depends on the right conditions. Why has China failed to produce true philosophers for over 2,000 years? Because the suppression of all other schools and exclusive promotion of Confucianism eliminated the conditions for free thought. Why were there no billionaires during Mao Zedong's era? Because that time lacked the conditions necessary for great wealth to arise. When certain conditions are present, corresponding phenomena inevitably flourish. Like spring rains causing grass to sprout across the land. Like swarms of mosquitoes and flies. Like viruses spreading uncontrollably. Like plagues of insects erupting in fields. Like the rapid growth of a middle class. Like corruption running rampant. Like refugees scattering far and wide. Like new strains of bacteria multiplying without end. Mars remains lifeless because it lacks the basic conditions for human survival. We cannot find celestials in the secular world because it lacks the conditions necessary to give rise to them. You won't find a cow in a pigsty, a sheep in a wolf's den, an insect in a chicken coop, or fish in the Dead Sea. But in Life Echanuan's second home, celestials are born in abundance. Because the conditions for becoming a celestial being are fulfilled. Just as diamonds abound in South Africa's Cullinan mine. Emeralds thrive in Zambia's Miku, Kafubu region. Peacocks flourish in Dahong, Zishuangbana. And ginseng fruits grow in Ziying Gorge of the Thousand-Year World. Therefore, to become a celestial being, the right conditions must be met. Without them, even if you read every book on becoming a celestial being, meditate and contemplate for decades, master countless secret techniques, hold unwavering faith and an iron will, you still cannot become a celestial being. A cloth soaked in dye can never be bleached white by scrubbing. A seed stuck in a wall will never grow into a towering tree. A frog trapped in a well cannot reach the sea. An assembly line worker, no matter how hard they strive, cannot produce a complete machine alone. To become a celestial being, these fundamental conditions are essential. A life free from worries about food, clothing, shelter, transportation, birth, aging, illness, or death. Living surrounded by nature's mountains and rivers. Complete freedom, without constraints. Far removed from money, power, fame, and lust. A mind unburdened by attachments. A community of kindred spirits resonating at the same frequency. Places for play, joy, and creative expression. A clean, orderly, vibrant, and beautiful environment. Once these foundational conditions are in place, with proper guidance and cultivation, becoming a celestial being is natural and inevitable. Just as rivers give birth to fish, ponds to frogs, forests to birds, and grasslands to wild creatures. This is certain. A mountain becomes renowned not for its height, but for harboring a celestial being. A lake becomes sacred not for its depth, but for housing a dragon. A person need not be a genius, follow Xiafeng, and you shall become a celestial being. Preface to the chapter of Attainment of Buddhahood, the Diamond Sutra, the Himalayas of Wisdom. Xiafeng. The towering Himalayas are an ocean of snowy peaks. Their waters are crystal clear, pure, and sweet. As the land of China is nourished by the rivers of her motherland, let us not forget that though the source of these life-giving rivers lies in the Bayan Har Mountains, their vitality is blessed by the Himalayas. As we watch the muddy yellow river roaring toward the sea, one wonders, why is its water so turbid? Its murkiness is not its true nature. At its source, the river is pure and luminous, untainted and pristine, like a goddess, beautiful and sacred, solemn and serene, like an angel, mysterious and noble, gentle yet resilient. As the river runs long, it gathers impurity. The longer the flow, the more the defilement. The yellow river bears witness to this truth. If we wish to part the clouds and see the sun, dissolve the mists and emerge from darkness into light, we must return to the source, return to simplicity, awaken to our true nature, and rediscover the Tathagata within. The Diamond Sutra says, Subhuti, all Buddhas and the teachings of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi arise from this sutra. The Buddhist canon is vast as the sea, profound and often obscure. The more monks expound upon it, the more confusing it can become. Many teachings have reversed their essence and misled the multitudes. Thousands of Dharma gates and countless terms have sprung up, like the Yellow River, clear at its source but turbid downstream. Only one path can truly illuminate the Dharma. All scriptures trace their roots to the Diamond Sutra. Set aside the vast complexities and return to the origin. Great monks and teachers throughout the ages have tirelessly preserved and shared the Buddha's teachings, contributing immeasurably to humanity. Now, to restore the purity of the Dharma, to bring forth more true Buddhas, and to welcome the era of life Achanuan, I will speak on the Dharma, with the assistance of Foshan Celestial. To speak on the Dharma is not to explain the Dharma. For the Dharma is beyond words, there is no fixed Dharma, no Dharma is the true Dharma. What I offer is merely an interpretation of the Diamond Sutra. The Diamond Sutra is the Himalayas of wisdom. Once understood, one may stand above all, viewing lesser mountains with ease, soaring as though through the realm of Penglai, the mythical isle of the immortals, one may become a Buddha. In presenting the Diamond Sutra, I will not follow old traditions. Those who aspire to Buddhahood should continually consult the commentaries of Kumarajiva and Nan Huaichin on the Diamond Sutra. The wisdom of Chinese Buddhism flows endlessly. Great masters and learned practitioners have long graced this tradition. Even in modern times, many esteemed masters and brilliant lay scholars have made timeless contributions to Buddhist culture and to the harmony and advancement of the Chinese people. They shine like stars, illuminating the field of Chinese Buddhist wisdom. Yet of the countless who study and practice Buddhism, how many truly understand the Dharma? Of those who worship lifelong, how many attain Buddhahood? When we enter the grand palace of Buddhist learning, a dazzling maze unfolds before us. Every teaching seems reasonable, yet all lead to confusion. Countless Dharma gates abound, but where lies the true essence? The Dharma is a profound path, not easily grasped by ordinary minds. Having read various teachings by modern masters, I find that many do not truly expound the Dharma, but rather parade Buddhist knowledge, filling people with terminology and history while drifting ever farther from the essence of the Dharma. Today, many monks in China exploit the banner of the Buddha to amass wealth. Together with Foshan Celestial, I visited a tourist site where we uncovered their secret methods of profit. A rough estimate suggests that a monk at this site earns at least 1 million RMB per year. Such parasites feeding on the body of the Buddha do not propagate the Dharma, they consume it. Without reform, Buddhism cannot flourish. Without reform, the efforts of countless sincere practitioners will be in vain. Without reform, the land of China will suffer harm. Without reform, the Dharma will not penetrate the hearts of the people. Restore the Dharma to its pristine purity. The genuine Dharma has already been lost in China. What remains today is riddled with flaws, no amount of patchwork can restore it. We must seek the source. Where is the source? It lies in the Diamond Sutra. When the fifth patriarch Hongren passed on the robe and bowl of succession, he faced a dilemma. His most accomplished disciple, the senior monk Shinshio, had not attained true realization. Yet Huineng, a humble kitchen worker who split firewood and ground rice, had surpassed Shinshio. Thus, the patriarch passed the robe and bowl to Huineng. But knowing that Huineng was illiterate and lacked the authority to widely spread the Dharma, he told him, "The robe is a source of contention, do not pass it on further." Though he also encouraged him. You are the sixth patriarch. Guard and cherish the Dharma. Spread it widely and save all beings. Let it continue unbroken. But reality was already clear, sixth patriarch Huineng could no longer pass on the robe and bowl, so the fifth patriarch merely encouraged him at the time. So, after Huineng, there was no seventh patriarch. The true Dharma ended with him. Now, I once again take up the robe and bowl of the Dharma once more, and together with Foshan Celestial, we shall continue to share the Dharma with sentient beings. If you wish to know the depth of my understanding of the Dharma, consider the following verses. Shinshio said, "The body is a Bodhi tree. The mind a bright mirror stand. Polish it diligently at all times. And let no dust alight." Huineng replied, "Bodhi originally has no tree. The mirror also has no stand. Originally there is not a single thing. Where could dust alight?" Hundun Baby says, "The heart holds the Bodhi tree, the soul is a mirror, bright and still. All things arise through illusion and transformation. With clarity of true nature, one transcends the dust of the mortal world. Hundun Baby is my Dharma name. Those with genuine insight into the Dharma will recognize in these verses my revelation of its true essence. You will also understand that I possess the wisdom, spiritual clarity, and capacity to spread the Dharma. The Diamond Sutra was spoken by the Buddha specifically for those aspiring to the Great Vehicle and the Supreme Vehicle. For ordinary students of the Dharma, it is difficult to grasp. Therefore, to guide all beings, I will explain the Diamond Sutra in the simplest, most accessible terms. Once you understand my interpretation, you too may become a Buddha. Great wisdom appears as simplicity, supreme wisdom is formless. When I teach the Dharma, those with affinity must not cling to appearances. They must use formless thinking to comprehend it, for the Dharma is without form, it is the supreme wisdom. All conditioned phenomena are like dreams, illusions, bubbles, shadows. Like dew or a flash of lightning. Thus should you contemplate them. As for the unconditioned Dharma, it cannot be spoken of. It comes like thunder and lightning, it goes like a dream. Neither void nor substantial, neither sound nor silent, boundless and traceless, unseen and untouchable, yet of infinite power. It cannot be stolen or hidden, it is ever-changing and unpredictable. All things are it, and yet it is not all things. Follow it, and your path will be smooth and harmonious. Go against it, and obstacles will arise, bringing harm to future generations. Now, listen to how I speak the Dharma. Buddha, primordial Buddha, Tathagata, Tathagata primordial Buddha. Xiefeng. Buddha is not a human but a being beyond human existence. What is a non-human being? One beyond human form. What is a being without form? A being without form, yet endowed with human awareness. What is such a being? A being without form, yet with consciousness, is spirit. Thus, Buddha is spirit. The primordial Buddha is the source of spirit. Tathagata, Tathagata means, thus come, or, as it is, the primordial nature of the universe, neither real nor unreal, silent and traceless, formless and boundless. It contains all forms, all things are Tathagata, but Tathagata is not all things. The Tathagata primordial Buddha is the ultimate origin of all. This ultimate origin is the greatest creator. Therefore, the Tathagata primordial Buddha is the greatest creator. A Buddha is one who has awakened to the Tathagata. One who awakens to the Tathagata becomes a Buddha. The primordial Buddha is one who has awakened to the Tathagata primordial Buddha. One who awakens to the Tathagata primordial Buddha becomes a primordial Buddha. Sakyamuni is a Buddha, a Tathagata, but he is neither the primordial Buddha, nor the Tathagata primordial Buddha. The primordial Buddha is the source of spirit, Sakyamuni is not the source of spirit, for Buddhas and Tathagatas existed before him. Had already attained enlightenment far earlier than Sakyamuni. Sakyamuni is not the Tathagata primordial Buddha. The primordial Buddha is the greatest creator, who has never appeared in the world in a single, embodied form. The greatest creator manifests only through spiritual manifestation, not through concrete form. Sakyamuni is a world-honored one, the supreme being of the human world. Jesus is also a world-honored one, the supreme being of the human world. Sakyamuni is the supreme being of the Eastern world, Jesus is the supreme being of the Western world. Eastern culture is centered on the teachings of Sakyamuni, Western culture is centered on the teachings of Jesus. The differences between Eastern and Western cultures mirror the differences between Sakyamuni and Jesus. Jesus is not the greatest creator, just as Sakyamuni is not the Tathagata primordial Buddha. A royal envoy may represent the emperor, but the envoy is not the emperor. Likewise, Sakyamuni and Jesus were envoys sent by the greatest creator into the human world. To attain Buddhahood, one must awaken to the Tathagata. Below are key passages from the Diamond Sutra regarding the Tathagata. Study them carefully. When you truly understand them, you will awaken to the Tathagata. In enlightenment to the Tathagata, you become a Buddha. One cannot see the Tathagata through form. When one hears these verses and gives rise to pure faith, even for a single moment, Subhuti, the Tathagata knows and sees them clearly. The Tathagata often says to the monks, "Know that my teachings are like a raft." The Dharma taught by the Tathagata is beyond grasping, beyond words, neither Dharma nor non-Dharma. In the presence of Dipankara Buddha, the Tathagata attained nothing in the Dharma. World-honored one, the Tathagata has nothing to teach. When the Tathagata speaks of all forms, it is to say they are not forms. The Tathagata speaks what is true, real, and in accord with things as they are, without deception or duality. The Dharma realized by the Tathagata is neither real nor unreal. Subhuti, in future times, if a good man or woman can uphold, recite, and study this sutra, they will become a Tathagata. The Tathagata teaches for those who seek the great vehicle and the supreme vehicle. The Tathagata attained no Dharma of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi under Dipankara Buddha. If there had been a Dharma by which the Tathagata attained Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, Dipankara Buddha would not have predicted, "In the future, you will become a Buddha named Sakyamuni." All the Dharma taught by the Tathagata is the Buddha Dharma. The Tathagata possesses the physical eye, divine eye, wisdom eye, Dharma eye, and Buddha eye. The Tathagata should not be perceived through outward physical appearance. If one says that the Tathagata speaks any Dharma, they slander the Buddha and cannot understand what I teach. Subhuti, if someone says that there is a self in the Tathagata, they are mistaken. It is only the ordinary person who believes there is a self. One should not view the Tathagata through the 32 marks. The Tathagata neither comes nor goes, thus is he called the Tathagata. Awaken to your true nature and transcend the dust, attain Buddhahood in the present moment. Xiefeng. Building temples is inferior to shaping people, and shaping people is less meaningful than creating Buddhas. Foshan Celestial, inspired by the wisdom of Master Suan Hua, urged me to create Buddhas. So I shall bring forth countless Buddhas, illuminating a sacred path for humanity weighed down by suffering. Those who encounter this writing are truly fortunate. I congratulate you, for you are on the brink of Buddhahood. The sixth patriarch Huineng established the path of sudden enlightenment. He realized that all phenomena arise from one's own nature. When one awakens the mind, one perceives one's nature. In perceiving one's nature, one becomes a Buddha. I recognize this too. Every essential transformation must be preceded by an accumulation of change in quantity. Only when the accumulation reaches the threshold of transformation can one suddenly awaken and become a Buddha. The sixth patriarch was correct in saying, "How wondrous is one's true nature, originally pure. How wondrous is one's true nature, without birth or death. How wondrous is one's true nature, complete in itself. How wondrous is one's true nature, unchanging and unmoved. How wondrous is one's true nature, capable of generating all phenomena. Once you see your true nature, you may suddenly awaken and become a Buddha. But to see one's true nature is not easy. Without the accumulation of change in quantity, without countless reflections and contemplations, without lifetimes of cultivation and experience, it is difficult to have the karmic affinity to awaken, to comprehend the profound Dharma, or even to find your way into life genuine. There are 3 hallmarks of becoming a Buddha. Perceiving the Tathagata. Embodying effortless action. Dwelling nowhere in mind. Anyone, whoever they may be, who meets these 3 conditions is a Buddha. How does one recognize the Tathagata? Tathagata is one's true nature. As the Diamond Sutra says, all forms are illusions. To perceive forms as formless is to behold the Tathagata. In my article Life and Death, a phenomenon puzzling mortals and worldly people of the chapter of the greatest creator, there is a supernatural soul in the universe, I offer a small glimpse into this process of recognizing the Tathagata and seeing one's true nature. Who am I? Is my home me? No, for even without a home, I am still me. Are my clothes me? No, for even without clothes, I am still me. Are my teeth me? No, even if they all fall out, I am still me. Is my hair me? No, even if I go bald, I am still me. Are my eyes me? No, even if I go blind, I am still me. Are my legs me? No, even if they are amputated, I am still me. Is my heart me? No, even if my organs are replaced, I am still me. Is my blood me? No, even if all my blood is drained and replaced, I am still me. So, this is not me, and that is not me. Who, then, am I? Ah, I am the Tathagata. To see all forms as formless is to perceive the Tathagata. The Tathagata has no fixed form, any concrete, tangible form is not the Tathagata. Humans are not the Tathagata, only one's true nature is the Tathagata. When you recognize your true nature, you behold the Tathagata. In the instant of seeing the Tathagata, you become a Buddha. You have returned to your original purity and truth. You understand that all forms are illusory, only the true nature, the Tathagata, is not illusory, but eternal. Have you seen the Tathagata? If not, continue forward. Can you step inside a mustard seed? If you are attached to any form, you cannot, your body is too large to enter something so small. Once you realize that your body is not your true self, and that your true nature, the Tathagata, is who you truly are, then entering the mustard seed becomes effortless. The Tathagata can be infinitely vast or infinitely subtle, so subtle as to have no trace. Within a mustard seed is an immense universe, with your traceless self, you can wander freely within it. Why enter? To see the truth hidden within. Inside, countless celestial bodies move at high speed. You may enter a galaxy of molecules, then a solar system of atoms, then the sun of an atomic nucleus. Go deeper, and you will find quarks, and deeper still, you enter the domain of wave-particle duality where matter appears both as particles and as waves. Venture further, and the string-like state dissolves, revealing only a pure structure, a structure not of matter but of conscious essence. This is your true nature, the Tathagata. Tathagata is not unique to humans, all life forms possess a Tathagata. To see through appearances and behold the true essence of any being is to see the Tathagata. Now you should grasp the essence of the Diamond Sutra better. How does one attain the state of non-action? The Diamond Sutra says, all sages and saints attain distinction through the practice of non-action. Think not, I must liberate all beings. All conditioned phenomena are like a dream, an illusion, a bubble, a shadow, like dew or lightning, thus should you view them. Where there is action, there is error. Where there is action, the perfect structure of one's true nature may become flawed. The more action, the further one strays from one's true nature, the more action, the harder it is to return to purity. One word, with action, becoming a Buddha is difficult. The true nature, the Tathagata, is originally pure and complete. It gives rise to all phenomena. The true nature itself is Buddha. Restoring this true nature is non-action, from non-action, everything can arise. If you strive to act, you reverse the order, drifting further from Buddha. Only the non-material structures and energies endowed with spirit are eternal, all else is fleeting, illusions that arise and fade with time and space. Thus, all conditioned phenomena are a dream, a bubble, a flash of lightning, unreliable. Humans fall into 5 categories. Ignorant people, the ignorant, ruled by instincts. Worldly people, the worldly, driven by self-interest. Mortals, the emotional, bound by sentiment. Sages, the wise, guided by reason. Saints, the awakened, living by the Spirit, the celestials. The stronger one's desire, the more one engages in action. Worldly people are driven by desires, so they are active doers, yet what they pursue are but illusions, bubbles and shadows in a dream. Mortals are governed by emotion. Family, relatives, friends, clans, nations, these are the purposes of their lives. Their actions are also driven by emotional impulses, what they pursue is no more than the thunder and lightning in the clouds. Sages, though guided by reason, are not immune to faltering at critical moments. When faced with immense wealth, dazzling enough to tempt the soul, with power and status that arouse deep envy, when their family, nation, or race is at the brink of life and death, or when they encounter beauty so stunning as to stir the heart, then they, too, are likely to give rise to a mind of striving and fall into action. Celestials include saints, all live entirely by the Spirit. They are not easily excited. They see through the illusions of the world, and are capable of calming the mind, disciplining the mind, cease the mind's longing, and rectifying the mind. It is difficult for them to give rise to intention or action rooted in striving. As Buddha Sakyamuni said, all saints and sages differ only in their embodiment of the Dharma of non-action. The more one strives, the lower the level of life, the less one strives, the higher the level of life. This is the essential difference between people. In this world, no one has fully attained the realm of complete non-action, not even saints. To varying degrees, everyone still lives in action. Even many high-ranking monks and Dharma teachers in Buddhism dwell in the state of action. Their intentions and efforts to universally save sentient beings, or to become Buddhas themselves, are manifestations of action. This is why the Buddha instructed us not to harbor the thought, I must save all beings. At this point, some may ask, Xiefeng, if you understand the principle of action and non-action, why are you still engaging in action? Why are you and the Chanyuan Celestials still trying to create the era of life Chanyuan and promote the unification of all religions? This is not an easy question to answer. If I were to say we bear a mission, it would likely be dismissed as a fantasy or conspiracy. After all, who can verify such a claim? So here is my honest answer. We treat the unification of all religions and the creation of the life Chanyuan era as a game, like children playing house. We don't take these matters seriously. Whether it happens or not is of no concern to us. When hungry, we eat, when sleepy, we rest. When blessings come, we enjoy them, when hardships arrive, we accept them. Life is short and fleeting, why trouble ourselves with matters beyond our concern? Non-action, and yet nothing is left undone. Nothing is left undone, and yet we abide in non-action. We live in a state of Hundun, a realm of holographic thinking, a kind of undifferentiated, natural flow. Hundun specifically refers to the order of the greatest creator and the seemingly intricate, yet fundamentally unified and harmonious state of the universe. How does one let the mind abide nowhere? The Diamond Sutra says, thus should one give rise to a pure mind. A mind that does not abide in form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or thought. One should give rise to a mind that abides nowhere. Without a pure mind, it is impossible to attain supreme enlightenment and great wisdom. Yet to gain a pure mind, one must first be free of all attachments. The mind should carry no burdens, no worries, and should not cling to anything. One must reach the state of thusness, utter stillness and unmoving clarity. If our mind is stirred by sounds, whether noisy or melodious, whether praise or insult, whether the soft, sweet voice of an enchanting beauty or the harsh, hoarse howling that makes one's hair stand on end, then a pure mind cannot arise. The same applies to attachment to fragrance, taste, or touch. If we give undue importance to any of these sensations, our mind cannot attain purity. As for Dharma, true Dharma is formless. Dharma has no fixed form, it is fluid, ever-changing, and responsive to time and place. If we become attached to any fixed notion of Dharma, we are bound to be misled. The only way is this: constancy within change, and change within constancy. The supremely wise Buddha Shakyamuni warned. If anyone says the Tathagata has spoken any Dharma, they are slandering the Buddha and cannot understand my words. This means, though the Buddha expounded Dharma for 49 years, in the end, he spoke no Dharma at all. If we insist that Shakyamuni left behind any fixed teaching that must be upheld, then we are not honoring the Buddha, we are defaming him. Are the Bible, the Buddhist sutras, the Quran, and the Tao Te Ching the Dharma? No. They are not Dharma itself, they are skillful means. Has Life Changyuan ever taught fixed Dharma? No. What we offer are also skillful means. The Buddha said, all teachings are Buddha Dharma. But what is true Buddha Dharma? It is the Dharma of no Dharma. That is the highest Dharma. Therefore, the Buddha taught us, let not the mind arise by abiding in Dharma. To cling to doctrines or fixed beliefs is to let the mind abide in Dharma, and when the mind abides, a pure mind cannot arise. Likewise, whether it is Jesus, Shakyamuni, Muhammad, Laozi, or Xiafeng, all should be set aside. One must give rise to a mind that abides nowhere. If you meet these three conditions, see the Tathagata, attain non-action, and let your mind abide nowhere, you are a Buddha. Why wait? Become a Buddha now. This very moment, you are Buddha. You smile, perhaps thinking, am I really a Buddha now? Could it be so simple? Yes, this simple, this difficult. For those who have undergone deep spiritual searching, this may be a sudden clarity. Searching 1,000 times in the crowd, then turning, that one was there in the dim light. Now you see, it is easy. For those with no root or who have never reflected or cultivated, this is like reading a text from another world. Becoming a Buddha is hard. If your understanding now seems fleeting, don't worry. You are already at the gateway. In one instant you may awaken, in another, you may fall back. But in the instant of enlightenment, you are Buddha. In the instant of delusion, you return to the world, not a Buddha. If you can become Buddha for even 1 instant each day, remarkable. 2 instants, more remarkable. A few minutes, better still. An hour, 2 hours, now you are already on Mount of Enlightenment. If one day you abide as Buddha from dawn to dusk, with only rare moments of confusion, then it is only remnants of human, animal, or demonic nature yet to be fully purified. But if you persist, in time you will perfect your merits and attain true Buddhahood. At every moment, the light of spirit may flash forth. Catch it, in that instant, you are Buddha. Amitabha, those who are karmically connected enough to read this are truly fortunate. Such is fate, why is your life so blessed? Give thanks to the greatest Creator, the primordial Tathagata Buddha. As long as there is I, there is no Buddha. Xiafeng. The Diamond Sutra teaches. Subhuti, if a bodhisattva holds on to notions of self, of others, of sentient beings, or of lifespan, then they are not a true bodhisattva. The notion of self is no true notion, notions of others, sentient beings, and lifespan are likewise false. To be free from all notions, this is what it means to be a Buddha. All dharmas are without self, without others, without sentient beings, without lifespan. A bodhisattva who fully realizes the truth of no self is what the Tathagata calls a true bodhisattva. Practicing all virtuous dharma without notions of self, others, sentient beings, or lifespan leads to Anattarasamyaksambodhi, supreme, perfect enlightenment. The Buddha is not me, and I am not the Buddha. Where the I exists, the Buddha is absent. Where the Buddha is present, the I is gone. As long as the I remains, Buddhahood cannot be attained. The I is the greatest barrier on the path to awakening. If the I is not dissolved, the gate to enlightenment will remain closed. Let us observe how the I blocks the path to liberation. Each attachment below is a mountain standing in the way. I want to become a Buddha. I want to achieve glory for my country and people. I want to honor my ancestors and leave a lasting name. I want to contribute to humanity. I want to be rich. I must stay alert to avoid deception. I believe in the greatest Creator.